friends, for this week's media demonstration video, we're going to be talking about using crayons and watercolor paint to finish our drawings. This particular drawing is of a super cute animal. This is called a Pika. I'll tell you some more about that in just a couple of minutes. Before we start, I want to mention these magnets. So guys, I have all these magnets and I've been mailing them out to people. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my Arts Hub YouTube channel. You can also like this video, but most of all, tell me about it. That way I know for sure that you did. And if you could just do that, I'll be happy to mail one of these magnets to you. So what I'll do is I'll mail it to you with a personal thank you note. This is a magnet, a refrigerator magnet. It's designed to hold your artwork up on the refrigerator or any type of metal door or anything like that. So it's just a fun way to celebrate the art and to help me out too. So, all right guys. So, the Pika, he is so cute. And I didn't know much about this little animal. I'm doing this for a birthday party, and it's going to become an art lesson for next school year. But I wanted to show you some photographs of these little guys. So first of all, they're little and they're cute. They're basically sort of in the rabbit family. They look a little bit like a mouse. Check it out. They have really thick fur. They have, instead of like rabbit-like ears, they have rounded ears like a mouse. They have incredible whiskers. And they are big on foraging. So what they do is they collect lots and lots of little flowers and grasses, and they do a lot of eating because they need to stay safe. They need to survive. And if they detect any predators anywhere, they will do a call. And this is one of them doing a little, like a warning call to say, hey, everybody, look out. There's an eagle or there's something over there that I'm afraid of. You should be afraid of it too. So they're cool in that way. What's amazing is they live at the very, very top of the mountain, guys. And so they live in a place where no other animal can really live. It's a really harsh environment up there. We're talking about above where even the trees can grow. There's very few animals that can survive up there. This little creature lives there all the time. And what it does is it collects these grasses and it lays them out on the rocks to dry in the sun, which is like unbelievable. It's incredible. And once they're dry, because that'll prevent them from molding, they put them in their little den. And so they're just amazing animals, and they don't hibernate, but they do live in their little dens, and they overheat really easily. So they need to live in a really cold environment. That's what they're adapted to. So what we're going to do is we're going to use watercolor paint and regular crayons. And this little animal is designed to blend into the rocks in the background. You can see it's like kind of like almost the color of the moss in this photograph. And here they look so much like the rocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using these multicultural crayons. And I have already picked out several of these colors. I tested them on a piece of paper. I'm going to test them again to show you what that looks like. And I've got a gray and a black and a white. And I have a few other colors. There's not a huge color palette in this art lesson. Sometimes they're super colorful and bright. We're still going to make this look colorful and bright. The watercolor paint is going to help us with that. So you can see what I have ready to go here. Now I selected these and I know that this is what I want to use today. Sometimes we have all the crayons out, and you can do that too, but sometimes it's kind of hard to choose when you have so many choices. So it's not a bad idea to test your colors, get the ones you want, get them ready to go. That's what I did. I also have this handy dandy crayon sharpener. It's a pencil sharpener, but it's a crayon sharpener too. If you've ever watched these videos before, you know I love this thing. I love my art supplies. So sharpen your crayons. You can use them over and over and over again, guys. You don't have to throw them away. You don't have to, just let them sit there forever and not get used. It's really good. You can keep on using your crayons, and there's a lot less waste that way when you use things up. This skewer here is in case something gets stuck in there. It's an easy way to get it out. I have that always handy. With watercolor paint, guys, you can see these are well used. I have been using them a lot. I'm going to be using a lot of blue and purple today. And I'll be ready to do that in a few minutes. I've got my paper towels, I've got my cup of water. It's always good to have multiple size brushes, guys. For this, we really only need the larger brush. So I'm going to put the other ones away. I don't need them right now, but if you need them in the future, it's good to know that they're there. So I always like to make sure I know where they are. All right, guys. So without further ado, my favorite word, let's check out some of these colors. So multicultural markers, colored pencils, and crayons are designed to give you different colors for different skin tones, and that is wonderful. I absolutely love that. They did not have that when I was a kid, and now they do. I think that's really great. But they're also wonderful for things that need different shades of brown. And so all of these are very neutral colors, and you can see how cool they look. I think they're just perfect for this lesson. And you can see I picked these out. So those are perfect for our drawing today. But I also wanted to make sure I had some different shades of green. So I picked out a green that was kind of a deeper green. And I also picked out a lighter one. I like the way they look together. I picked out sort of an orangey color because orange is a great complementary color. Purple is another good color, and yellow. And there is white as well. We'll talk about that later. So I know what my colors are. Like I said, I did that before we started. I wanted to make sure I had what I needed and wanted. I've got my crayon sharpener ready to go. I'm going to just start with this now. I'll do some of this right now, and then I'll do the rest of it in time lapse. And when it's time to do this together, this is something that will help you a lot. So I hope you'll watch this video through to the end. All right, guys. So we're using these crayons. We're going to start with our darker color. And so I did do some color testing here, and I know that this is my dark color. So the dark color on this little guy is going to be sort of our shadow color. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this dark color sort of on the edge of his face and a little bit on the edge of his legs. You see how I've kind of picked a side? I've decided the darker side was going to be on the left side. And so I'm going to put this shadow color up here in his ear. And I'm going to put a little bit in this ear as well. Even though it's on that side, it is still, there's shadows in lots of places. So I'm putting a little bit of a shadow here and there. What's really fun about this type of material, using crayons and watercolor paint, is you don't have to be super duper careful because you're going to go over everything with paint. And when you do that, it really does fill in all the spaces. So I know that this is my medium color. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little of this. You guys can put these colors wherever you want to. As you can see, just by adding a couple shades of brown, it's already just getting cuter and cuter and cuter. So just wherever I put those other colors, I'm adding a little bit of this one too. This color is beautiful. This one is called Hazel Eyes. Ooh, wow, what a great color. I thought it looked sort of like caramel. All right, I'm going to also use my really light color in some of these places. And I'm going to just kind of get in some of these little nooks and crannies, my light color. You can see that I'm not filling in every single spot though. And that's because I want to make sure I save a little bit of room for white. Now the white, you can't see it right now, but when the time comes, it's going to appear. And you will see it because the watercolor paint will not stick to any place the crayon is. So the wax in the crayon will resist the water in the paint, and that is why it's called wax resist, and it's so cool. You'll see what I mean soon. Well, this guy is really cute. I can't believe it. So I know that this is my gray color, so they definitely have gray in their fur, so they have to blend into the rocks a little bit. So I'm going to add some of this gray now on top of some of these other colors. And so you decide for yourself exactly how much of this you want. But I want some of this on top of these other ones. So, what a cutie pie this little critter is. He's so cute. All right, so adding a little bit more gray. The white is still there. You can't see it. It's underneath, but it's going to show up soon. So, all right, guys. Now, these creatures have black eyes, and you can make them black if you want to. I left a little bit of space here because I just thought it would be fun to imagine a Pika with blue eyes. And so that is up to you. It's totally fine. I don't know if that's realistic or not. Well, I know it's not, but it's just fun. I might put a little bit of brown in there just so it's not quite so blue. There. All right, guys, that's really cute. I'm going to do the rest of this in time lapse. Then I'm going to come back and show you how to do the watercolor paint and do a conclusion. Here we go. So as you can see, the Pika is very much designed to sort of blend into his background and be adaptable. And so that's why I made him very similar colors to the ones in the mountains. I did add a little bit of purple in the mountains just for a little bit of shading, a little bit of fun. I think purple is a nice complementary color to the yellow of the flowers. Those are, those are complementary colors on the color wheel, so it's nice to have those there too. All right, so we're going to do the paint now. So before we do that, I want to talk about paint. So as you can see, this paint is pretty much full, right? I've got all these colors here. But the good news is about watercolor paint is you can clean your tray by adding water, okay? And then I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to clean it out like that. Because this thing is the lid, but it's also the mixing tray. So now I have that ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my blue paint and my purple paint wet. And so what I'm doing is I'm loading up this paint with water because yes, it's watercolor paint, but you have to actually put water in your watercolor paint, guys, in order to get it to move. So I say that because so many people don't even understand that. They think they're just going to put their brush right in there. But this is letting the water really, really soak up that paint. So that's what we want. All right, so I'm going to transfer some of this over here. Now I have it on my mixing tray. You can see how vibrant that is. It's really cool. So I'm also going to take some purple because I want to deepen this color. Deepen it as in make it darker. And so I'm going to take more purple. See how it's getting darker? It's getting deeper and darker and beautiful. They're both beautiful separately, but I just think that it's really worth it to do some mixing and blending. All right, guys, check it out. Look at that gorgeous blue color. All right, so this is the other thing I think a lot of people are confused about. You're not just going to put this color in this little tiny area of the sky. It's much more fun than that. You're going to start at the top and you're going to go across. And wherever the crayon is, wherever you have put the crayon, the wax in the crayon will resist the water in the paint. So I went ahead and put some white spirals in the sky with a crayon just to show you what that looks like. Don't be afraid to mix up more color, guys. Use as much color as you need. But what you do is you go right over the top, and there are lots of little tiny spots that you may have not put crayon because we weren't trying to be super careful, like I said. And what happens is this lets the paint sink into all those tiny nooks and crannies. Now you can let it get more purple or more blue, it's up to you. You can do that by just going directly from the paint onto the paper. But notice that I'm just going over. I'm not trying in any way, shape, or form to go around. I'm just going over. I'm going to go over a few more times, make sure I have enough paint, and I think that looks really, really cool. I think that looks awesome. All right, so what you can do is you can take a paper towel and you can lay it over the top. Do that a few times. And voila, my friends, check it out. It just really looks cool. So these spirals in the sky are just a demonstration. You don't have to add them if you don't want them. I think they're kind of fun. They make it look like maybe it's windy up there. It adds a little detail to your drawing that you wouldn't get from anything else. It's not a Sharpie line. You can make it look like it's snowing, for example, or windy. things like that. But we're all done for today. I hope you enjoyed this, friends. I know I did. I think this looks really, really cool. I would love to see what yours looks like, so feel free to take a picture. Take a picture of yourself drawing with me. Take a picture of yourself working on your drawing. Send it to me. I'd love to see it. All right, friends, that's it for today. I will see you next time.